Hey, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon GO raid guide video. Today we're going to be talking about the incarnate form of Landorus. This Pokemon is once again back in 5-star raids, and this Pokemon is unfortunately not that good. It's definitely outclassed by its Terrian form, but a lot of players still go for this Pokemon, mainly because it's still a pretty good ground type raid attacker. But yeah, compared to the Terrian form, which is going to be widely more useful, I would say that this Pokemon is more of a one and done raid boss. But I understand that some players still need this Pokemon for their Pokedexes, so this video is going to be a guide on how you could take it down. So with that said, let's go over the details for incarnate form Landorus. Landorus Incarnate Form is a ground and flying type legendary Pokemon. This means it's going to have a double weakness to ice types as well as a regular weakness to water type attacks. It also has resistances to ground, electric, fighting, bug, and poison types, so do not bring any Pokemon with these moves because those are going to be very ineffective attacks against Landorus. The perfect IVs for Landorus Incarnate Form is going to be 2050, and if it's weather boosted, it's going to be 2563. And Landorus is going to be weather boosted by windy weather and sunny weather. Now, if you want to secure the win, make sure you bring 4 other trainers that are at least level 30, and if you want to challenge yourself, you could do this with just 1 other trainer, but just make sure all of your Pokemon are at least level 40 and they are your best ice types. Speaking of which, let's talk about the best counters against this raid boss. First and foremost, it is double weak against ice types, which means the absolute best Pokemon is going to be, bar none, Shadow Mamoswine with ice type attacks. Make sure you bring those, and it's definitely going to be worth investing into, because whenever a Pokemon is double weak against ice, you will want to have a bunch of these in your collection. Now, the other alternative is of course going to be Shadow Weavile with ice type attacks. That's also going to deal a boatload of damage up against Landorus Incarnate Form. But other counters that you could bring include Primal Kyogre. That's basically going to be the absolute best Mega Evolution that you will bring, and I totally recognize that it does not boost up ice type Pokemon, but still, it is definitely worth bringing, and you could bring one with Blizzard, which is going to deal double damage against Landorus. Other great options for counters include Baxcalibur, as well as Shadow Mewtwo with Ice Beam. That's actually a really good Pokemon to use against Landorus, especially because it is going to be pretty resistant against most of Landorus's attacks. Now, let's say you do not have any of these Pokemon. Well, you could also consider bringing regular Mamoswine as well as Galarian Darmanitan. Those are actually really good budget options and they're a lot more readily available, so if you want to still be useful in your raid, then power up these Pokemon and make sure you bring them. Alright, so there you have it. It's a very easy and straightforward boss. Just bring your absolute best ice types and you're gonna have no problem taking it down. But like I said at the beginning of this video, this Pokemon is unfortunately not as useful as the Terrian form, so if you are looking for a really good ground type, I would hold off until that Pokemon is in raids. But this Pokemon could still hold its own. If you do not have any good ground types in your collection, you could still use this Pokemon and get some success. But I feel like at this point, it's better off using Pokemon like Rhyperior, which is going to be much easier to get. And then of course, there's Excadrill, which is going to be miles better than this Pokemon in terms of ground type raid damage. So it's really up to you. You can still raid this boss and get some good uses out of it, but there are going to be better options out there that are much easier to get. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Now, let me know your thoughts regarding the incarnate form of Landorus. Is this a raid boss that you're going to go after? Is the shiny form something you're actually interested in? I really want to know your thoughts because, yeah, this just seems like another raid boss that's not necessarily useful, and we're all just kind of counting down the days until we get a super useful raid boss. But yeah, regardless, let me know your thoughts in the comments and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And also don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the absolute best way you could do so is by joining my Patreon. And if you choose to do so, you will get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. That means for remote raids as well as the friendship system, if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And of course, there's the alternative way to support my channel that doesn't involve spending money, and that is following me on social media. I'm on the platforms that you see on screen. My handle is @Jinsula. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.